Good morning and welcome. Welcome everyone here in the congregation. Welcome everyone here on Zoom tuning in. It's blessed to have you here today. It's gorgeous down here in Fairhope for those who are tuning in from afar. Here at Unity on the Eastern Shore, we know that we know that we are not here by accident and that everything is in divine order. We are each a part of the divine source energy, and we affirm that we are all one. We bless and embrace all people of every race, culture, lifestyle, and creed, for we know that the one source, as love and light, expresses equally in each and every one of us. So thank you all for being here today. April, the power color for April is yellow. And yellow is one of the most significant colors in the Bible, as it signifies and symbolizes faith, joy, his divine nature, and the glory of God. It is energetic, positive, feeling witty, and having clarity, confidence. Overall, it is a happy color that offers vitality and good health. The power is wisdom for April. And Reverend Linda is going to be going over wisdom today, but I want you to think about, what is wisdom to you? What does that word wisdom mean to you? Wisdom is different than knowledge. Wisdom is about knowing and hear what's good for you, perhaps also in alignment with intuition. But it's just not knowing what's good for you. It's about applying that to your daily life. That is a truly wise person, knowing and applying. There's one of my favorite memes out there is a monk doing this, and it says, a wise man once said, nothing. Today's word is divine wisdom. Maybe close your eyes and listen as I say this. Divine wisdom. As I claim the divine wisdom I am, I live fully and freely. I am divine wisdom. It is my true nature. As I claim this truth, I am able to first perceive and then know my right and perfect path. I consciously use divine wisdom and understanding to guide the unfolding of my soul's purpose and experience living fully life every day and freely. I practice prayer and meditation to maintain an awareness and claiming of my infinite wisdom. I invest time in the silence and center my mind on what is true. In the stillness, I reach clarity and envision the next steps I will take. As I move along life's journey, I use my feelings as signposts to help me gauge my course. If I feel joy, courage, peace of mind, or contentment, I trust I am on my right path. Each day, I discern what is mine to do fully to express my highest and best self. Claiming the divine wisdom I am, I live fully and freely. We have an affirmation today for the daily word here. I discern what is mine to do as I fully express my highest and best self. I'll just read that one more time. I discern what is mine to do as I fully express my highest and best self.
Now my hands do your work, and now my lips speak your truth, and now my life is the image of your love, Spirit in
Well, that's what we do. We just roll with it. And as you know, here in Unity, we have been working on this hard. Some weeks it works great, and some weeks it doesn't. And- I love it. And Sylvia said, we have the wisdom to know, right? So that was Spirit in Me with Michael Gott. And I was looking forward to that. Seemed like a very beautiful song. Well, now is the main show. Now we have Miss Reverend Linda Fisher coming up here. Let me introduce her. She is a spiritual coach and an ordained science of mind minister, motivational speaker, sacred ceremony officiate, mastermind facilitator, and a business consultant. She also provides business travel, vacation, home, caretaking for your pets. She's going to do that for me this week. She holds a bachelor in religious studies from Agape Institute, as well as a bachelor and a master's from the University of Sedona. Reverend Linda has lived in numerous places and now resides in Daphne, Alabama, to be she's close to one of her two sons here and her grandkids. And she enjoys many things along with fine dining, theater, boating, teaching, and volunteering in the community. Please, let's welcome Reverend Linda Fisher talking about divine wisdom today.
Wow. When you said all the things that I've done, I thought, oh my God, did I do all those things? Am I doing those every day? Life is good. It is a journey. So I welcome each and every one here today, and those that are online, welcome. Today, I want to start off with just a saying by Father Lee Booth, something that I kind of go over in my mind about once a week, and I take it out of my drawer and I read it. So I'd like to open with that before I start my talk. So wherever I am, that is where the center of the universe is. Wherever I am, that is where meaning has its beginning. To know in every fiber of my being that I am important and unique. To know that without me, the world would not be the same. To actually know that I make that much of a difference, that is walking on water. So I had that saying when I was ordained, the first time I became a minister. And as Bobby Joe says, I've done many, many things. And when I started out as a little girl, which I'm going to share some things from my heart, which probably you don't know about, because you haven't heard a lot about me. But a little girl growing up, I lived with my grandparents, and we went to a Protestant church. And I used to go to Sunday school, and then I'd go to church during the week when my grandmother would take me there. And what I learned was that there was a God up in the sky, and if I wasn't a good girl, I was going to go and down below. So I won't use the word hell. And it didn't really set that right with me, but I kept going to church. And as I grew, I was exploring in my mind, there has to be something better and deeper. There has to be something where I feel more connected to the Almighty. So I started going to different churches. I would go to the Protestant church. I would go to the Episcopalian church. I would go to the Catholic church. And in the Catholic church, I had a boyfriend which went there. So that was a thing for me to do every Sunday. And I learned about catechism, and I learned about communion, and I learned about going to confession. And I kept saying, that's a man in there. And how can he know that I'm forgiven, that my sins are forgiven? And I thought, okay, well, what is a sin? Okay, let's see, I didn't eat my carrots. I didn't say my prayers before I went to sleep last night. So to me, that was like, oh my God, God knows everything that I'm doing and I'm saying. And it still didn't sit right with me. So on my journey, I kept searching for something greater and more. And when I had my business, I had a customer walk in and said, Linda, you need to come to our church. And I said, oh, and where is your church? Oh, it's over there in Simi Valley. And I said, oh, okay. What kind of a church is it? Never you mind. You don't have to know what kind it is. We just think the same way you do. And I know that you'll feel a connection. And I thought, oh, well, okay. And she kept bugging me, come to church, come to church. So I finally said, okay, I'm going to come to church. So I went, and it was a CSL church, Church of Religious Science. And I walked in and I was like, oh, wow, this place is full. And people were just happy and everything was just glorified. And I thought, oh, wow, this is good to be around good, positive people. So I sat way in the back and I listened to the minister talk, which was Dennis Jones. And I cried like a baby. And what I learned was that there wasn't a God up in the sky, the God was within me. And that I was loved, and that I was beautiful, and that I had a gift to give to the world. So that was the beginning of my journey. And I was like a sponge. Man, every Sunday, boy, that's where I was going, and what classes could I take? And I kept going in class and classes. And the minister said to me one day, you need to be a minister. You need to be a minister. That's God calling. That's God calling us. So I know I'm home. And as I went along, on the journey, I thought, I'm not a minister. I can't do that. I can't get up and talk to a bunch of people. I'm bashful. No, what if I mess up and I don't say all the right things? He said, Linda, just trust in God. So that was the beginning of the wisdom of Christ consciousness. And that's what I'm talking about today. And as I went along the journey, I was asked to minister to a unity church, is where I am today. And I did that up in Washington. And I went back to school. And I thought, oh, I guess this continuing education is going to be my life's journey. But what I learned most of all through Unity and CSL, there's a silver thread. There's a silver thread that connects both of us because it's the same teaching, just taught in a little different way. Unity uses more Bible verses, where CSL uses more life-changing. So it's the same. It's all the same. And to me, it was an experience that I thought, okay, what a gift I have. I have both sides that I can go and I can talk on Sunday morning and I can do classes, which has been on my mind. And there will be classes coming here at the center, at the church. Bobby Joe has a yoga class that she's going to be doing here. And I'm going to start 2 classes. The first one will be You Are Enough by David Walker. And then I'm going to do Marianne Williamson's classes. So I'm looking forward to the journey. And I know there'll be lots and lots of people coming here. So let me continue and get back to my talk. So there's great wisdom in the faith. And as a spiritual being, I learned clearly to have the greatest respect for all religions. I found there was no judgment. And to me, that was something that created within me that I believed it was the biggest gift that I received. Because what I learned that was spirit lived in me and as me and is me, which I didn't feel that connection growing up in the Protestant church. I didn't like the idea that God was outside. I embraced the idea that I was part of God. And everything that I looked at, a podium, a flower, an animal. When I was in San Diego this past weekend, I did a memorial service, which was a celebration of life for my brother-in-law. So there was a lot of emotions and like a roller coaster and tears and stuff like that. And before I got on the boat with my sister to spread his ashes, and there were 11 other people there, I just went in within and said, God, show me a sign. Show me a sign that releasing Carl to the universe, that it's part of everything of life. Just show me something. And while we were doing the service, and my sister was getting to spread the ashes, and we had flowers and leis and stuff like that, I looked out at the ocean and I said, I bless you on your journey, connecting with family and friends along the way. And all of a sudden, out in the ocean, there was a whale with a big tail. And it kind of went like this, and then he went down, and I got, oh, I'm getting the chills again. And I thought, oh, thank you, God. So there are signs out there in life when we ask God, Spirit, Infinite Divine, whatever you call your God, know that the answer is always there. All we have to do is be open to receive that wisdom of life. So knowing that we are not separated from God, that Spirit is around all of us. It's in our children. It's every time we look in the mirror, we see that reflection of God. When I get up every morning, I look in that mirror and I go, you are love. You are beautiful. There are no wrinkles. There is no flaws. You have something to give. And we all have that. You have that. And when we realize that, life changes. Life becomes so much more beautiful and more peaceful. So in all the Christ consciousness and wisdom, it's staying open at the top to learn and to grow, to always know there's something more to learn. And as I embark on this teaching, I then realized that the teacher were not just words of wisdom, but indeed it was pure consciousness. So when you learn about love and forgiveness and patience and gratitude and non-judgment, when you learn those things to forgive yourself most of all, that is the Christ principles. That is living the life of joy. So we all have that decision. Do I want to get up in the morning? Today's going to be a lousy day. Today I don't feel good. That's what it's going to show up. I learned that very young and very new when I first came into the teaching. And hey, I'm human. I have my ups, I have my downs, I have my highs, I have my lows, I have my cranky times. I have my depression times when I'm so sensitive, you just look at me the wrong way and oh. And I think we all go through those emotions, and that's good. And I think the biggest gift you can give yourself is to say, regardless what somebody says about you or to you, know that you are loved, that you are that perfect divine expression of God 24 hours a day. I know when I was growing up, people kids in school used to tease me, and they call me fish cakes. Hey, fish cakes, where are you? Because my last name is Fisher. And I would get offended. Oh, you got freckles. You got pimples. You're not very pretty. We don't like you. We're not going to play with you anymore. I mean, and think about that. And today we're realizing later in life that that's bullying. That's bullying a child. I didn't know that. So I drew within. And so can you imagine a child growing up, going through teens and stuff, and feeling that way and not knowing that there was a beautiful God out there, that there was a different way of looking at things? And it wasn't until I went through my first class of forgiveness that I was learned to let all of that go. So I thank my teachers, and I'm thankful the ministers that had a lot of faith in me and saw something different in me and taught me about the wisdom of Christ consciousness. And there's a paper out there that you can take home today. It's on the table if you'd like to take these principles home with you. So the biggest difference between being in a sleeping state or in an awakening state, the level of development of these beautiful qualities, the gifts of love that we all carry within us, the precious Christ qualities that propel us to live in an open-hearted state instead of a closed-hearted state. And now I'm inviting you to reflect and ponder about everything that I've shared. And as I continue, I ask you these questions. Is it easy or difficult for you to comprehend that everything is already within you? All that you need to do is to simply open yourself up, regaining power upon your consciousness and therefore the whole of your being. Is it easy or difficult for you to comprehend that the Christ consciousness is always part of you and you can grow it from within like a beautiful garden that will gift you back the most delicious fruits of love and exquisite flowers of peace and ancient wisdom? Is it easy or difficult for you to comprehend that to embrace Christ consciousness will not bring us self-satisfaction, but instead all will flourish in our lives in the most beautiful, positive ways? Is it easy or difficult for you to comprehend that if, as the collective of humanity, will not strive to nurture the beautiful qualities encapsulated with the Christ consciousness, all that is negative in our reality, will it never cease? Now, please give yourself some time to digest without judgment, without judging yourself in any way. You ask yourself, is it difficult or is it easy? Do I go within and let it go and let that person have their thoughts, their feelings? Do I judge them or do I just say thank you for sharing and know that you and what you believe is the same but maybe different, and just love them for who they are? To know, though, that we are all equal and all capable of bringing our own little pieces of the puzzle towards making a better world is so very important. As important as the full realization that we all have God within us, that we all have Christ within us, and we are not separate in any way from our own divinity. When we shall clearly see our own divinity and the divinity of others without any more blindness and blaming, then we will truly witness great positive change in a massive scale. Think about that. Think about that. How do we see our world? Do we see it confused? Do we see it loving and kind? Do we look at what's happening in the world today and judge it, or we just say, there was a time, similar circumstances, and we lived through that, and look how much better we are today? How do we look at life? What do we see in it? How do we greet it every morning? Do we go, thank you, God, woo, I'm alive and I'm driving, and boy, I'm going to have a great day today? Or do we get up and go, oh gosh, oh well, the world is falling apart? Think about it, how we greet things in life. I get up every morning, I just thank God I have another day to live on earth. You know, I'm only 39 and I'm going to live to be 125. I keep telling myself that. I'm going to have a birthday this year, and I go, oh God, do I really want to tone into that age bracket again? And I go, no, I'm going to stay young. But that's my way of looking at life every day. So we should all begin this process now and grow inside our own hearts the seed of love, charity, compassion, oneness, patience, humility, forgiveness, generosity, non-judgment, faith, divinity, and gratitude. Those are the Christ conscious principles of life. And if we can all embody that and remember that in days of struggle and strife, we'll feel so much better in the world. Just that alone got me through this past week. past week of being with family. There were 140 people there. It was one of the biggest celebrations of life I've ever done. And more than that, I kept saying, use me in some way. Let me touch your life. I had several people come up and said, I've never been to a celebration of life. I've only been to funerals and memorials. And I like that. I like that, celebrating a person's life. I saw people I hadn't seen in 30 years, and it was like, whoa, look how much they've grown. Oh my God. You know, I saw the little kids when they were little, and now they were all grown up. People that I had not connected with and I hadn't seen, relatives that came from Hawaii and came from Los Angeles, and, you know, and they wanted to know where I was from. And I said, I'm from Alabama. And they go, Alabama? What are you doing in Alabama, Linda? And I said, well, God called me there, so there I am, and there I'm going to stay. But it was a great experience for me, because I was a little scared, but I just let my heart flow. And it was so funny. Papers were flying everywhere, and I was just, okay, I'd pick it up, and I just kept going. And somebody said, man, you're good. You just kept flowing in the spirit. And I said, yeah, that's who I am. I'm from Alabama. But it was a great experience. So remember, the seeds that you plant today in your heart will be the seeds that you will share tomorrow or in the next minute. So remember who you came to be here on this earth. Remember who you are. It's most important, because we are all beautiful souls. We are all that expression, that knowingness that there is peace on earth, and it begins with us. So in order to contribute to the creation of a more equal society and a more respect towards Mother Earth, it's all about putting our own energy and consciousness where it is mostly needed. Where there is indeed the biggest lack of awareness, and usually there is to be found in all the hearts of the ones that forgot the beauty and the simplicity of the Christ consciousness. Teaching and wisdom of the very teaching that could transform not just our lives, but the lives of others to be truly graceful and filled with greeting has meaning. So I give you a challenge this week. When you're out and about and you're meeting people in life, in your own little way, share that beautiful love, the wisdom that is within you. And if you see somebody hurting, and if you don't feel comfortable hugging them, send them love. Because what you think and what you put out in the universe, it responds back. So when we give love, we receive love. When we share kindness, kindness comes back. It could be in the form of a letter, a card, or just a gesture to say, wow, I love that color on you. It radiates you. That can make a person's whole day, because you don't know what happened the day before or the night before. You don't know, maybe they were thinking about committing suicide, or maybe they were just angry and they had a bad day at work. So just when we're conscious of that, of the Christ consciousness, it makes our whole life change. So I think I will close with a prayer. So if you feel comfortable, close your eyes, feet flat on the floor, your back resting on the back of the chair or wherever you are. Let us give thanks in advance for the wisdom for answered prayer. And as we begin to become still and centered into the place in our awareness when we know we are one with God, let us rest a few moments, realizing the oneness of the beauty of spirit. I know God is wholeness, wisdom, and perfection. God is the very essence and principle of this wisdom. And we know you and I are being created in this very instant in the very image and likeness of God. God is empowering us now. And so it is, I know that on the level of divine mind, you are whole and perfect, full of this wisdom of Christ consciousness. We join claiming and knowing we have this knowledge from birth, knowing we already have wisdom and divine order in our life. I see radiant light shining as you, the very principle of wisdom. Clarity is moving in and through every level of your being, bringing all of you into perfect alignment with the wisdom and wholeness that already exist in the mind of God. And I give thanks for this truth, and that prayer is always answered when we believe in the power of prayer as it is known, and forevermore as we believe. And to know I am an individual and no one has ever used their mind the way I have. No one has ever laughed or cried exactly the way I have. And that's because there is only one me for all time. My life is balanced between acknowledging my completeness and enjoying my creativity. From this day forward, I take charge of my mind, what I think, what I feel, and what I believe. My life will be what I make it, regardless of the experience I've had or am having. How wonderful it is to be enough. And so as we continue our day and the rest of the service, to know that you are loved, you are appreciated, you are here by divine appointment. So in that knowingness, I release my word into the universe, knowing that it is done. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Linda. That was wonderful. Planting the seeds in our heart today for tomorrow. I love that. Right? All the laws of the universe are actually working out for us always, always. We just need to learn to study them because what works for me works for you as well. That's wonderful. She dropped all my papers on the floor. All right, now is that time for love offering. Miss Linda over here will go around with a little basket. And for our Zoom friends and family, we offer PayPal and Venmo now online. And the links are on our Facebook page along with our website. And we welcome your offering via the post office. We love snail mail. You can deliver that to P.O. Box 776, Fairhope, zip code 36533. Your gifts are appreciated, and we are grateful for our good that comes to us, and we participate in the abundant flow of God. How is the music? Oh, we play music? Is it gratitude prayer? Okay, I thought we were playing music of it. Divine love flowing through me. Everyone close your eyes, please. I'm so sorry. I'm new to this. So everyone just close your eyes and feel this love. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am richly blessed, creating a greater and greater flow. This will be One Big Family by Gary Lynn Floyd.
Drinking water before bed burns 46 pounds.
We are
in
going
2
to
weeks.
Spirit in Me by
If you are
Michael
struggling to
Gott.
lose weight and you're over
I know, do a little dance. Enjoy every second. There's a song by Michael Fonte that I love. It's called Enjoy Every Second. Enjoy every second you feel. Oh my, doesn't matter how high I fly or fall. Enjoy every second. And keep it real, y'all. It does say that. And keep it real, y'all. And I love that part. Michael Fonte and the Spearheads. Enjoy every second. I've been making my company visiting me right now from the UK. I've been making them listen to it almost every day. Because you got to enjoy every second. It's the happiest song I've ever heard. Wish I was like Jack and just wing it up here and sing. Kumbaya, my Lord. No. I need singing lessons, right? I could just talk a little bit about announcements. Okay, I'll just go into announcements then. As we know, and she mentioned, I am teaching yoga here. Jim came last week and Carl came. It was his first time. I teach a gentle, restorative kind of yoga. And please come. It's going to be the first Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. And for those of you who are kind of like, I don't know, I might be a little older. If you get on the floor, I'll help you get up, okay? It's not difficult at all. I can help you. Big announcement here. We have openings on the Board of Trustees coming up in May 2022. This is a 3-year commitment. And so give it some thought and let us know if you would like to serve us here at Unity on the Eastern Shore, because we would love to have you. Everything. She asked, what is expected of you? Everything. What can you do? No. I know, see? I've been the secretary for the past year, and it's just been tuning in once a month to the board, you know, and writing the minutes and then sending that out and just doing things for the community and whatever it entails. I haven't really had to do very much. It's just about being here and the community, and it makes strong and making decisions for the church. Anything that you'd like to add to that, Doreen? Nope. Okay. So Easter Sunday service will be next week with Reverend Jack. Why don't you come? He's a good time. So let's fill up the sanctuary. Come, come, come. Those of you who's tuned in today, I know there's a few of you, I've seen you out and about. Come on out. Come out here. Make it a big grand service here. Have some Coca-Cola. Have some coffee. I need something to keep me awake. Have some refreshments here and then some goodies. Everyone is welcome. Easter bonnets are welcomed also. And what a perfect time to step into the spring and celebrate with us. With that, I'd like to say that I am still trying to get in touch with the town of Fairhope, and get the pavilion on Sunday, the 24th, I believe it is. So I've been calling, I've left 4 messages. It's just that nobody is filling that position, so people are overlapping each other. But I promise I will get it by next week and let you know a date. I'll go in there if I have to myself. So in closing, let's recite our affirmation for the week again. Okay. I discern what is mine to do as I fully express my highest and best self. And then the prayer for protection. We'll say this all together. Okay, sorry. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. So thank you everyone for joining us in person, and those friends out there in the Zoom world. Sorry that there's been a communication gap when we hear you talk like this. So we're sorry that we cannot communicate with you today, but it's great to see you all here tuning in. And until the next time, thank you for joining us.